Warning: this video features one or more ships that are primarily acquired through gambling mechanics. The chance of winning such ships is very low, and there's no guarantee that you will win regardless of how many times you gamble. If you think you might have a problem with gambling addiction, please stop the video and seek help immediately. Greetings everyone and welcome back to another Starship review. Today we're going to take a look at the Section 31 Command Heavy Battlecruiser, which is normally only available as a reward from a promo choice box, but has been recently added to a new MUD bundle. This is a very popular ship and likely needs no introduction. I've seen many accounts online of people using their event campaign Reward 3 to get this ship on Reddit, on Twitter, on YouTube, and elsewhere. Command is far and away the best specialization right now, and the Section 31 Battlecruiser is one of the better Command ships, so the popularity makes sense. Sporting a 5-3 weapon layout, which isn't necessarily an advantage, a full Command specialization with secondary Lieutenant Intel seat, 4 tactical console slots, and some free pets in the form of a unique swarm mode, it certainly has the goods. One sore spot is the fixed ensign engineering seat. The Commander Engineering command isn't a huge problem, as you can use Call Emergency Artillery, Concentrate Firepower, one of the 2 engineering control abilities, and Emergency Power to Engines. The rest of the seating is just fine, and the Intel seating does give you a small boost if you want to do energy weapons, which is where the 5-3 weapon layout would be helpful. The trait Secret Mission has a rather unique effect. It randomly marks a nearby enemy as your secret target, which will have a resistance debuff. If you kill this enemy, you will summon some attack drones to attack other enemies. It's a fun trait that performs decently. The console Forged Turncoat gives you crit severity and weapon power. The clicky confuses, then disables an enemy while increasing damage to the target. The crit severity is quite useful, and the clicky can be good for big targets like Attack Cube. In terms of rating, it gets 5 stars for meta. An argument could be made that a 4-4 layout would be better so you can get another mine, but there are several good dual beam bank sets bonuses that you can use with a 5-3 layout. The ensign engineering is annoying but hardly a deal breaker. Overall, it's a real powerhouse. For the ship score, I also give it 5 stars. If you watch Discovery Season 2, then you'll know they did a great job with this ship. The Swarm mode and the Dark mode, which I didn't even mention until now, are both very thematic and really cool. In terms of accessories, I'll give it 4 stars. The trait and console are both good, but not great. They fall into that huge category of stuff that's really good, but it's not the best, so you don't hear about it much and it doesn't show up in a lot of builds. And that's my review for the Section 31 Command Heavy Battlecruiser. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now. Greetings everyone and welcome back to another Starship review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Elachi Cheshire Command Dreadnought Cruiser, which was recently put into a new MUD bundle. Originally a promo ship, you can now get it without gambling as part of that bundle. There are 2 Cheshire variants. The other one has Intel seating instead of Command, but otherwise they're basically the same. The Command version has aged decently due to Command being the best specialization right now. I personally like this ship very much because it has a detachable support craft and 2 different unique hangar pets. However, there is plenty not to like. The Cheshire is not a full Command ship and has a Commander Engineering seat, which is going to be difficult to do anything with, especially since it also has a fixed ensign engineering seat. These days, people want science seating for Photonic Officer and control abilities, rather than engineering seating for aux to bat and emergency power to weapons like people were doing years ago when energy weapons were more popular. If you're looking to build the ship in a way that takes advantage of the Command seating, then you're going to find the BOF layout very lacking. You have the bare minimum for a kinetic build here, however, but not much more than that. Still, even a bare bones kinetic build is going to be better than ships that only have Intel seating, pilot seating, and even some Miracle Worker ships. So it's going to perform just fine. It's just, not going to be anyone's first choice. The console Cheshire Assault Craft gives you crit severity and turn rate, which are useful, and the clicky works like the one on the Jem'Hadar Vanguard carrier. It summons a support craft, but if you use it on the Cheshire itself, the craft is actually part of the ship and detaches rather than just warping in. You can only use it on Elachi ships, however. This is really a roleplay console, but it's still pretty fun. The trait Torpedo Barrage sounds great on paper because it gives you extra torpedo high yields, and that's extremely good. But it has a minimum internal cooldown of 30 seconds, which means you're only going to get a free high yield twice per minute, and that's just not going to cut it. There are 2 exclusive hangar pets, including the Oshu shuttles, which launch 2 per bay like the Delta Flyers, and have high yield torpedoes and beam overload. You can also slot the Quailash frigates, I'm probably mispronouncing that, which have torp spread, rapid fire, target lock, elusive target, and subspace jump. They aren't going to, make any top hangar pet lists, but they're very flavorful. In terms of scores, I'm giving it 3 for meta. The command seat is quite valuable, and that's a lot of what's carrying it here, but there's just too many drawbacks to justify giving it anything higher. Even though you might be able to technically outperform a better ship in the 4-star range, just because command is doing all the work. But as for the ship score, all the pets help a lot, especially with the small craft needing its own model and animations, all of that work that went into it. I gotta go for 5 stars here. Now I'm only going to give it 2 stars for accessories. The console is locked to the Elachi ships, the trait is basically obsolete, and while the pets are really cool, they're also locked to the ships, so you probably aren't going to use them if you care about performance, especially since they all have torpedoes. There just isn't any value here to take with you and put on your other ships, and that's what the accessory score is all about. And that's my review of the Elachi Cheshire Command Dreadnought Cruiser. It's a decent ship that had a lot of work put into it, but it's also a very old ship and it feels outdated. Still, if you like the Elachi aesthetic, and I do, then it's still very much serviceable for all content if that's what you want to do. Thank you very much for watching, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now. Greetings everyone and welcome back to another Starship review. Today we're going to take a look at this Sona Command Heavy Science Vessel. Originally a lockbox ship, it has been recently added to a new mud bundle. I'll cut straight to the chase. I don't really like this ship. I think it's ugly, it has too many fixed tactical and engineering seats, and it lacks temporal seating. In addition to a full command spec, it also has an intel seat, but I can't find a compelling reason to fly this over a very long list of better science vessels at better price points. Having said that, the trait is interesting, especially as an account unlock. Kick them while they're down gives you 5% crit chance for 15 seconds when using a faux targeting control ability on an enemy already affected by a control effect. It can stack up to 5 times. You can hypothetically get 25% crit chance off of this, and most of the best builds are using as many control abilities as they can to reduce the cooldown on their consoles, but it doesn't seem realistic to me that you would be able to keep full stacks going. Not all control bridge officer abilities target a foe. You need to use it on foes already targeted by a control ability, and a lot of control abilities have cooldowns on the longer side. You can probably get full stacks here or there, but maintaining anything more than a couple of stacks is going to be pretty difficult. Still, it could be a good crit chance trait for your alts if you're willing to put some work into it. The console Deep Analytics sensor package is not great. It gives max aux power, control expertise, and shield hardness. The clicky lasts for 10 seconds and gives you and your allies in range shield and armor pen. It also debuffs foes, but it seems like more of a PvP debuff rather than a PvE one. 10% shield pen is pretty good, but it doesn't last very long. You need to be in range of the point-blank AoE, the passives aren't great, and the overall, it just feels like there's better stuff you could be using. Did I mention that it's also restricted to Sona vessels? In terms of scores, I'm giving it a meta score of 2. I question whether any science vessel can be bad enough to get a 1, but there's just too many things wrong with this ship. The bridge officer seating is a real mess, in my opinion. If it had more universal seating or some temp ops or something, then maybe it could be different. For the ship score, I'm also giving it a 2, because I just think it's ugly, and that's all the reason I need. In terms of accessories, I'll give it a 4, based solely on the trait. That's my review of the Sona Command Heavy Science Vessel. Thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourselves. Greetings everyone and welcome back to another Starship review. Today we're going to take a look at the Voth Rampart Command Flight Deck Carrier. Originally a lockbox ship, it was recently added to the new Mud Bundle. This is an excellent ship, even if it does look like a Star Destroyer. A full command seat gives you access to Suppression Barrage 3, which can be paired with its high hull modifier and attract fire for an excellent tank setup. Or you can use Call Emergency Artillery, Concentrate Firepower, and Mixed Armament Synergies on the Universal Lieutenant seat for a very potent kinetic platform. You'll struggle to get more than 4 control abilities on it, but it's also hard to see what you'd give up to make more room. Either way, it's a happy problem because you have the ability to slot so many things you want, but ultimately you still have to choose. The console layout isn't the best, and while it's only a 4-4, that's just fine for both torp boats and tanks, which is probably what you should use it for, and not really a downside for any build that would best take advantage of what this ship has to offer. The trait, Voth Carrier Synergies, gives you 10% incoming hull healing for 15 seconds, and immunity shielding to pets for 15 seconds when using an Engineering Bridge Officer ability, as well as a 10% Cat 1 all damage boost for yourself, and gives your pets aceton mode for 15 seconds. If you don't know what aceton mode is, it's a radiation AoE ability that is part of the console clicky for the Voth science vessels. The ability refreshes, but it doesn't restack. So although it's a neat trait if you're going for an off-meta pet build, it's not strong enough to make the cut otherwise. The console enhanced reflective shield amplifier gives you shield power and hull capacity. The clicky gives you the player version of that annoying Voth immunity shield. It makes you immune for 20 seconds or until you've taken 250,000 damage, or like one high yield EBM torpedo, and also cuts your damage in half and gives you huge maneuverability debuffs. It's also restricted to Voth vessels. You have to think of it as a clicky that gives you a huge amount of temporary hit points that also has downsides, and frankly, I can't see a reason to use this. The Rampart also comes with Voth heavy fighters that launch 2 per bay like the Delta Flyers. They have anti-proton weapons, including a torpedo. They get emergency power to shields, emergency power to weapons, and beam overload. There really isn't any reason to use these outside of roleplay, but then again, what other reason do you need? Unique hangar pets are definitely a plus in my book. In many ways, the Rampart is comparable to the Styx, a ship which has garnered a lot more attention. They're both premium 4-4 cruiser variants with full command seating that are excellent as both tanks and kinetic platforms. If you own one, then you probably don't need the other. I'd have to give the edge to the Styx though, but it's a small advantage. In terms of ratings, it gets 5 stars for meta. I don't think I have to elaborate more on that. In terms of ship score, I also give it 5 stars. The unique hangar pets and the console that let you mimic the NPC vessels gives it a lot of flavor. It's technically a flight deck carrier, so the carrier-focused trait is also thematic. In terms of accessories, I'm sadly giving it just 1 star. The pets and console are locked down to the Voth ships and aren't very good anyway. The trait is fun for carrier shenanigans, but ultimately weak in the grand scheme of things. If the trait stacked so you could get more than 10% Cat 1 damage, it would have done much better. Immunity for hangar pets is great, but it's hardly a game changer. And that's my review for the Voth Rampart. I hope you liked it. Thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.